$37 billion. That's how much gets wasted annually on marketing budgets because of poor attribution, credit, and misunderstanding of what actually drives results. Companies credit campaigns that just didn't work, and they kill initiatives that were actually succeeding. They double down on coincidences while ignoring what's actually driving outcomes. Just 3 executives lost their jobs this month for making that same mistake. They presented data showing success after their initiatives were launched. The boards approved those promotions. Then someone asked the one question nobody thought to ask. Could something else explain this? The sales spike coincided with the competitor going bankrupt. The satisfaction increase happened when a toxic manager quit inside of an organization. The correlation was real. The causation was fiction. And this mistake derailed their careers. But here's good news. Once you see how this works, you'll never unsee it again. And you'll become the person in the room who spots these errors before they cost millions. But first, you need to understand what makes this mistake so common and why even smart people fall for it every single day. But so, what is causal thinking? At its core, causal thinking is the practice of identifying genuine cause and effect relationships rather than settling for surface level associations. It asks not just, do these things happen together, but does one actually cause the other? This skill means you look beyond patterns and correlations to understand what's actually producing the outcomes you are seeing. When you think causally, you can spot the difference between coincidence, correlation, and true causation, a distinction that separates effective decision makers from those who waste millions, if not billions, on solutions that were just never going to work. Now, across every domain of professional life, this confusion causes fortunes and will derail careers, and has derailed many careers. A SaaS company sees customer churn decrease after implementing new onboarding emails and immediately scales it up company-wide. Look, we've all been here, right? We've seen this. But what they missed is they launched the emails the same week their biggest competitor raised prices by 40%. The competitor's pricing reduced the churn. But they'll never know because they never asked the right question. 6 months later, when they faced real churn issues, they kept doubling down on those emails that never actually worked. Now, this happens outside of work too. You start a new vitamin, and 2 weeks later, your energy improves. But you started taking it in early March, right when days get longer and you began going outside more. Was it the vitamin or the sunlight and the exercise you got? Most people credit the vitamin without asking the question. But here's the good news. Once you understand how to think causally, these mistakes become obvious. And one of these 5 strategies can be used in your very next meeting, literally 30 seconds from now. Let me show you how. Now, we're going to talk about how do you master causal thinking. Master it isn't about becoming a statistician or learning complex formulas. It's about developing 5 practical strategies that work together to reveal what is really driving the results you're seeing. These build on each other, starting with basic tests you can apply right now, and progressing to more complete system that you can use for any decision. So, let's talk about strategy number 1 of these 5, the 3 tests of true causation. Think of these as your checklist for evaluating any causal claim. Here's the 3 tests. Test number 1, timing. Confirm the supposed cause actually happened before the effect. If traffic spiked Monday, but you launched the campaign Tuesday, that campaign couldn't have caused it. The cause must always come before the effect. You know something that really drives me crazy? I am shocked about how many people never apply this test. And when they look into it, then they realize it could never have caused it. So check the timing. Test number one. Test number two, consistent movement. When the supposed cause is present, does the effect reliably occur? When the cause is absent, does the effect disappear? Document instances where they occur together. Then examine situations where the cause is absent. If the effect happens just as often without the cause, you're looking at correlation, not causation. Test number three, rule out alternatives. Think carefully about what else could explain what you're seeing. Actively try to disprove your idea rather than only looking for supporting evidence. Avoid that confirmation bias. Now, if you cannot eliminate other explanations, you do not have causation. So let's talk on strategy number two. So this is the second one of 5. Ask, could something else explain this? Let's drill into this more. Here's a technique you can implement in the next 30 seconds that will immediately improve your causal thinking. Whenever someone presents a casual claim, ask out loud, could something else explain this? This simple question is remarkably powerful. It forces the speaker to consider hidden factors they are ignoring. It reveals whether they're actually done causal analysis or they've just noticed a correlation and declared victory. Ooh, I figured this out. It shifts the conversation from assumption to examination. Try it in your next meeting when someone says, hey, we did X and Y improved. And watch how often they have never considered the alternatives. Watch how often their confident causal claims becomes less certain when forced to address this simple question. Most people present correlations as causations without ever realizing it. Your question makes that leap visible. Suddenly they have to justify it with evidence or back down. It's not confrontational. It's curious. Is there another explanation for this? And curiosity is the foundation of good causal thinking. Use it today. Use it every time someone attributes an outcome to a cause without ruling out alternatives. That question leads us naturally to our next strategy, learning to identify what those something else's actually are. So strategy number 3 of the 5 is hunt for hidden causes. Confounding variables is a third factor that influences both your suspected cause and your observed effect. It creates the illusion of a direct relationship where none exist. So here's a simple example. Ice cream sales and drowning deaths both increase during summer months. Now, does ice cream cause drowning? Obviously not. The confounding variable is warm weather, which causes both more ice cream purchases and more swimming. Now, here's the business version. A retail company sees both customer satisfaction and sales increase after renovating their stores. Does the renovation cause higher satisfaction? Maybe, but both also increased because they renovated during the holiday shopping season, when people are generally happier and spending more anyways. Same logical structure, same expensive mistake if they concluded renovations always boost satisfaction. So, how do you do this? Well, first of 5 steps here is 1, map the relationship. When you observe a correlation, write down your suspected cause and your observed effect. This visualization helps you spot gaps in your logic immediately. In some cases, it becomes quite obvious. The second of 5 steps, ask what else changed. Think carefully about what other factors were present. Oh, we modified the stores and it was the holiday season, or something else. What else changed? What were present or changed during the same period? Make a written list so your brain doesn't skip over these hidden clauses. Third of the 5 steps, search for common causes. Identify factors that could influence both variables at the same time. It's warm outside, I want more ice cream, and I'm going to go swimming. So, for instance, if both an employee satisfaction and a productivity increased, could several toxic managers have left the company? That's an interesting observation. 4 or 5, consider time-based environment factors. Examine seasons, business cycles, economic trends, reorganizations, leadership changes, and industry shifts that could affect multiple outcomes at once. And then 5 of 5, test by controlling variables. If possible, create scenarios where you can control or account for potential hidden causes. Try analyzing subgroups where the hidden cause is absent, or run controlled A/B testing. Once you can spot these hidden causes, you're ready to understand why your brain makes these mistakes in the first place. And this next one, it's probably happening in your head right now without you realizing. So, strategy 4 of the 5 we're going to talk about today is outsmart your brain's shortcuts. Our brains are wired to see causal correlations everywhere, even where none exist. Now, this is not a design flaw of our brain, it's a survival mechanism that kept our ancestors alive. But in modern business world, this pattern-seeking instinct can mislead you. Your brain wants to find those simple causal stories. Reality is usually far more complex. Once you know what to watch for, you can catch yourself making these errors before you ever make them. So, 5 steps we're going to talk about. First one of 5 for short-circuiting your brain is catch your instant explanations. When you observe a pattern, pause before declaring a causation. Ask yourself, am I seeing causation because it's really there, or because my brain desperately needs an explanation? Number 2, fight confirmation bias. Actively search for information that challenges your causal idea, not just data that supports it. If you cannot find contradicting evidence, you haven't looked hard enough. Here's how this plays out. A manager believes remote work hurts productivity. She notices that every time someone's late to a Zoom call, but she doesn't notice the 3 on-time people. She remembers the 1 missed deadline, but forgets the 5 delivered early. Her brain is filtering reality to confirm what she believes about work productivity. Be careful of that confirmation bias. 3rd of 5, to help short circuit your brain from automatically jumping to a causal relationship, question your compelling stories. Beware of explanations that just sound too clean, too neat, too packaged. If your causal explanation reads like a perfect success story, double check it. 4 of these 5 steps, don't see patterns in randomness. 3 successful quarters in a row does not mean you've discovered a winning formula. It might just be a lucky streak. Always ask, could this pattern occur by chance? And then 5 of 5, watch the after therefore because trap. Every time you catch yourself saying, we did X, and therefore then Y happened, force yourself to consider alternative explanations. Ask yourself, what would I need to see to know this isn't causal relationship? Now that you understand how your brain works and how your brain really wants to short circuit, let's pull this all together into a practical system you can use every time you need to make a high stakes decision. So, strategy 5 of the 5 we're going to talk about today is the 5-question causation check. Mastering causal thinking requires more than just understanding the principles, which we've just been covering. It demands a clear approach you can apply when the stakes are high and you're making millions, hundreds of millions, or billions of dollar decisions, and that's when the pressure is on. So, what is this 5-question causation check? Number 1, define the relationship clearly. Write out the specific causal claim you're evaluating and write it out with precision. So, an example, social media advertising increases qualified leads by 10% is better than marketing works. Be specific. It isn't about social media advertising increases in leads by the benefit of marketing. No, by X percent. Be very clear. 2 of 5, verify the basics. Does the cause come before the effects in time? Are they consistently related across different contexts? Are there possible alternative explanations? 3 of 5, look for or create tests. Find situations where the supposed cause varies while other factors stay constant. The goal is isolation. Can you isolate the variables you're testing from everything else that's changing? 4 or 5, check if more causes more. Does more of the cause lead to more of the effect? If doubling your ad spend doubles your conversions, that's stronger evidence than if the relationship is erratic. 5 of 5, test reversibility. If you remove the cause, does the effect disappear? If you reinstate the cause, does the effect return? This is why pilot programs and controlled rollbacks are just so valuable. Now, let's put this all in practice. You now have the complete framework for causal thinking. 5 strategies that work together to reveal what really is causing what. But here's what separates people who learn this from people who actually use it. One simple practice you can do this week that makes this framework automatic. So, let's jump into this exercise. A practical and effective way to internalize these strategies is through really working through real world scenarios from your actual work. But here's how to conduct your own causal analysis. We're going to walk through 6 steps of this exercise. First one, identify a correlation from your work. Choose a recent pattern or a causal claim that affects budgets or strategy. Your advertising, we went out with this new ad campaign and revenue shot up. We brought on a new salesperson, whatever. Identify a correlation from your work. Now, number 2, state your causal hypothesis. Write out the causal claim explicitly. Be specific about the supposed cause and the supposed effect. Do it in detail. 3, brainstorm alternative explanations. List at least 5 alternatives. Was it really the new salesperson? Or is it because our competitors did something? Or our customers are experiencing something? List out 5 alternatives. Force yourself to beyond the obvious first 3 that are easy to come up with. Come up with 4, 5, even 6. Fourth of this exercise, apply your 3 tests. Evaluate whether your idea meets all 3 tests for causation. What are those 3 tests? Let's remember. Did the cause come first? 2, do they consistently move together? Have you actually ruled out alternatives? Has it passed your 3 tests? 5 of 6, design a simple test. If possible, design a test to isolate the variable you're testing. For example, have some account managers follow one approach while others don't with otherwise similar conditions. And the next one is, and it's probably the most important one, is share your analysis. Explain your reasoning to a colleague or manager. This forces you to document it, provide clarity, demonstrates the analytical rigor to somebody else. One is you can validate what you're thinking, but 2, it's also a great way to help them see possibly flaws in the logic of, hey, correlating this causes this when it's really not a causation, it's just a correlation. They just happen to happen together. Now, ultimately with this practice, you'll become skilled at spotting false causation and identify true cause and effect relationships. This skill will compound over time, making you more valuable with every analysis you conduct. So what does this actually get you? So let me paint the picture of what changes when you master this skill. The rewards of mastering causal thinking are well worth the effort and will compound throughout your entire career. In the early part of the career, you'll be able to at least identify it. As you get late in your career and you've done enough of the analysis, you can quickly spot these very, very easily. And one of the results is you will become immune to the most expensive mistakes in business, the ones where you solve the wrong problem perfectly. When now everyone else is celebrating a correlation of success, you'll be asking the questions that reveal what's driving real outcomes, not what they think is driving the outcomes. Imagine being in a meeting where leadership is about to allocate $2 million to scale an initiative, and you're the one who asked the question that reveals a competitor's bankruptcy actually caused the results. That's a career defining value. Your strategic recommendations carry weight because they're based on actual causation rather than hopeful patterns or just coincidences. Leaders who can distinguish between correlation and causation and coincidence make decisions that actually work, that actually drive results. When your predictions prove accurate while others fail, your credibility will compound. You become the person everyone turns to when the stakes are high. You develop intellectual humility that marks exceptional leaders. Causal thinking teaches you to question your initial judgments, seek alternative explanations, and change your mind when evidence demands it. Now, these qualities don't just make you a better thinker, they make you someone others trust with important decisions. So take these strategies and practice them. Apply them in your daily work. Question causal claims, hunt for hidden causes, check your biases, and use the systematic process. This makes you a more effective decision maker, a more credible advisor, and someone who spots opportunities and avoids disasters that others will miss entirely. And you'll become the person in the room everyone listens to when the stakes are high. So, this is episode one of, in episode one, we were talking about why thinking skills matter now more than ever. And we exposed the crises. Your thinking ability is collapsing. AI dependency is creating cognitive debt. And those who can't think independently will be left behind. Episode 2, we talked about how to improve your logical reasoning skills. You learned how to distinguish deductive certainty with inductive probability, calibrate your confidence to match your evidence, and stop treating patterns as proven facts. Today, you learn how to distinguish true causation from mere correlation, saving yourself from very expensive, I'm speaking from personal experience here, very expensive mistakes where you solve the wrong problem perfectly. And what's next? Episode 4 coming up. Analogical thinking, the power of comparison. Your brain doesn't learn through pure logic, it learns by comparison. Every breakthrough idea came from someone who made an unexpected connection. You'll learn how to generate insights through analogy, recognize when comparisons break down, and spot when others use false analogies to manipulate you. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the future episodes. And also, can I ask a favor? Hit that like, hit that notification bell. It helps with the algorithm so others see our content. And why not share this video with a colleague who you think would benefit from it? I'm guessing you have already thought of 3 people you work with who don't understand the relationship between causation and correlation. And plus, you may have a family member, given all of what we see in social media where people claim a causation when it's only a correlation. Because right now, while you're watching this, someone just approved $1 million budget based on a correlation they mistook for causation. The only question is, will you be the one who catches it? We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.